Daily gossip so and then was so good so out uti and so say shemi. Message say any demo and did I can I will pay channel so subscribe to the channel. Na share link in my for. Na say then Danny then na new update bi nearly better so on sabe can be now so nwan so and sa can be. Na ma room fi say we leave you comment or comment section honom. Imagine me and my shida can edema. Ebusuafo and ohun mi a na say uti mi a remember more the video be able to media no so na message say come home na yenhwe video na yembra.
And it's got to do with recently Asama ABC our port our Ghana and Ninyina is got to do with a medical container be a medical supplies room health ministry a delay so omobe clear sa the medical supplies no the Ministry of Health has announced that it will clear the remaining container of medical commodities that have been stuck at the Tema port since May 2023. Now, sa nyoma we America Juma Kubia sebio omutu omuche eche inkru den enduro a sebio yedebema ekrumu homa emo omoso omo atomo from 20 den be 70 be sinde sa nyoma ni nyina egu den Tema port ma nyoma no egu container mu indro a ebeji Ghana fo enkwa no baomia ekufo adomo eyomani ema sa nyoma ni nyina da hu gu port wo ende yes sorry ya betene ne say MPP aban no say oh afen no makai say indro bi e port Indrobi airport inti yema mo na wotwemienu omobeyi from 2017 sign draw we egu the airport aban we in fact omo a omode eduro no ene sa anyoma ne breye no omo be kan no TV so say omo de be $2 million kan ho say aban we emfa enye den enyi eduro no omo a omode nduro no ba no omo mu nipa ena ekase moma yentie asama and I say we should just go straight and then take care of it. All right, moma yentie asama omo so kan.
I mean, the whole scenario
is this situation novel? Like, has it ever happened before, from what you do know?
About 2 weeks ago, we were in Geneva to meet the Global Fund.
All right.
And the Global Fund told the Ghana delegation, that was led by the Minister of Health, Honorable Dr. Okoboy, and the Director General of the Ghana Health Service was also present, the chairperson for the Parliamentary Select Committee on Health, and his ranking member. They were all parts of the delegation. The Global Fund told us that this is the first time they are seeing anything like this anywhere in the world.
In the world?
In the world. That commodities have been released in the country, and the commodities are in the ports for 1 whole year, and they are still there, uncleared. They have never seen anything like that. It's unprecedented.
Ghana is...
We are the first country.
Goodness.
Where commodities have been given to you, you simply don't care.
And people are actually depending on it.
And people are depending on these medicines.
And may have even lost their lives.
Oh, yes.
So, as a Ghanaian, you should be worried. You should be worried to say, Abayatna so, not a whole year or getting to 2 years. Indro abegu porter, abaying and to me, no. Now, whose fault is it? Because from the details that Eba Bontenechere say, Global Fund for no omode sikabe $2 million kanwa omokachere aban we say monje enka ho na monfan clear den indrowe. Now, sa asem asema ka e wo senka Ghana ni bia ebutumi fu aban no. Ghana ni bia oyo daye Ghana bia sebi o Ghana ni onim nyansa sebi otua woto ema aban no wapomuden ene ade bia anka wo se ehia wo because apomuden no se aban bia ba so na se wapomuden hia na aban no oya aban jimifo titiri oyo ba na se sebi wa wo pen a ana se wa hadi edwuma na wonim se yemfa apomuden enye den politics a de ebeba wakube mama obuafu ni se inti abai kakraka yesisu entumi nyindroi ma enkoji obi bankwa na this low-minded dark and lovely black face home management lady way wabetro nyoma ewo social media Twitter because the ni kunu ye no enwa no because of greed no kwasi asem nti she wants to toe the same line, but at this point we have no option to respond to daft, foolish, home care, homegrown slaves from Ayire. We need to respond to them. Into plantain chips way about Twitter, and this is what she wrote. Government stake in the Tema port is currently government stake in the Tema port is currently only 15%. We do not have a say in what happens at our port since 2014. So she was stating dates and percentages. Into Odim the Oka. Okure must say it is owned by French billionaire Baloa, who owns 17 other ports in West Africa. Read more here. So she is telling you, so Akonya article be, and you know that article was an article orchestrated by the NPP when they were in opposition. The person who even wrote the article to date has not been able to come and respond to questions that were posed to him. Now this guy goes to pick and tells Ghana for say, oh, in Runa Aka Port, it is because 2014, no, John Mahama ni NDC for Aton Tema Port, no, share. Look at this. And she goes there and she goes and exhibit her black ass ignorance. Netotum nenumko abegina Twitter say 15% of Tema Port, no, ninyina foreigners wo intina aban way entumi enyi container, no. So that's her argument. It was from 2014, no, NDC for Aton Port, no, Tema Port, no, expansion, the expanded one, no, NDC for Aton inti Indrona Ewo Port, memi emblemu Kwadwo. Memi emblemu aban na emom emblemu ni kru jimifo na party na omoteso na, and because of their foolish carelessness, stupidity and ignorance, no, yema nkofo nwuninti memi emblemu aban no yenko blemu 2014 we mo tete no omochi kosua wo kwan ho na nka yakobo jantra ye ba no na ya ma omachi kosua miensa ye wi na nka yato lax ne de acha omo. You see the foolishness they are exhibiting. No fact, misleading Ghanaians. Abanye din kwasiasam na ye chire mu ye ka no krama aban ayede ye no. Why ne tutum se aman alata semina. And we use the nim no tetu takekan kwasiasam because ni kunu sa illegal drugs na ni kunu ye de kwa aburu ba no. And it's unquasiade no modern Ghana na MPP so opportunity. Again says she can do politics, misinform people. Now, I mentioned my dear. Why in Ghana and ABN and Raka say John Mahama na Olidi Ghana Emma and the Tema Port second port 2 Tema Port 2 no, and it is one of the biggest ports in Africa. Na kwasya we eche Twitter adenya Jimmy phobia to mitro bibi intenda no she's mentioning strategically what body year and wasaba abebo percentage and what the article abe join the video are joining and the blame wine blame NDC kwasya about life. Now let's go back and let me show you something. See, mamenka we been show the Tema Port expansion ejumane ohono. It started way back JJ Rawlings time. And I've done this episode. And then I'm saying, Abronya na nimsa ponchibi estati and Nkansah who say omuni enough information. Omuntuminya jandama, omunyina ira no. And there, Sagele and the tutum se alata semina. What you see the nimse ayedian, Burkina Faso, Nenchie bino, I bet now say, or no na ebe misinforming Kwadwo. Now in 20, all the way back, na JJ Rawlings aye president. And onya adwin bi say Tema Port na Kwame Nkrumah ye no isa and that Beth baby a ship ne park no e was say ye biem na eye kese mo se ne be a ship akese beba JJ Rawlings for as adwin na nche and JJ Rawlings eye den e free abemu JJ Rawlings free abemu akofo buy from 2004 all the way to time akofo so etna abemu e kopim say akofo e free abemu. What happened was that JA Kufuor, what he did was that Okofa company ya from MPS buy MPS company ya and the port no omo na omo manage no sebio omo na omo siye omo na omo manage omo ni Ghana manage bom no JA Kufuor time JA Kufuor by na JJ Rawlings blueprint na to And on wakofa MPS by say, omo pese omo ni MPS and negotiate for and negotiate 20 years deal and I go for the 20 years. Say MPS for nemra na sebio omo embra na yani Ghana for yemfa yesi can see. Na 20 years no MPS for no and run the port no. Emu wana kufo e free abemu. Mamemfa kukuo ne picture nto so. Emu ho ena kufo e free abemu. Enti kufo free abemu no ena de atamels bae. Atamels bae no ena obehu say sa deal na kufo ne MPS for koe no it was a bad deal. Because for 20 years no JA Kufo was thinking about on na bae no what they would get. Enti omo negotiations no was not going in favor of Ghana. Enti atamels bae no ena we na you say no. Kufo deal na ojato what 2009 from 2004 to 2009 no Atamils realized say it was somewhere then they need to renegotiate this because project way is a massive project. Now when Atamils say omo eba be start na na day Atamils so nyameto ne safre no tie o sha kitchen o change diaper na bofa o tirima be keka nkwase asem otota when you so enim you so to kan o fui mo di jimi na mo de TVghana mmoa. Inti Atamils so anche and Atamils efrim na Mahama bae. Mahama bae no and obe share a contract no. And I say no. 2012 Atamils where Mahama bae no okay, so you know something. Let me look at this thing again because this thing has been existing government upon government. It's Mahama bae no say this is a huge contract. Ghana in our position we cannot raise the money to do what? To construct this port. And what John Mahama did was that he sat with the MPS for and renegotiated and said, you know something? So our contract somebody in Nkansah sign, you say a Sasha contract. And this time, what is going to happen is Ghana buy will not contribute a dime. What is going to happen is your friend be BOT, build, operate, and then transfer. So John Mahama a company no catch them say, hey, we are not going to spend a dime. Even though we want to expand our Tema port, make it bigger with other projects connected to it, the Ghana government is not going to put a dime in. And that John Mahama catch the MPS for to say, go all the way to wherever your financiers are. Go and raise money. When you raise that money, bring that money back and build that port. Now, when you build that port, your friend be bets, any baby a ship in a packet. Now, the bigger your bets, and a ship packet, see a pack. Na Ghana Port and Harbour Authority omna no mo run old Kwame Nkrumah Tema Port no inti na bet onu susa na be 4. Now what happened was MPS Ford by and mo be see the bigger one. Inti at that point what was happening was the small port and the big port were all working. What happened was inti I was say omo mkofa sa sika no eba no they have to say also mo ti omo ka they need to recoup back their investment. Because the negotiation John Mahama negotiated with them was that if you bring this amount of money and you are able to build this on Ghana land to belong to Ghana no matter the years, what is going to happen is you are going to run this sport hand to hand. And I say in conjunction. When Ghana Port and Harbour and Mumbai run airport way into Motimokano, na Ghana sorting and faso till say Mobatimoke so the same time we are making the profit then you walk. JA could form the 20 years to her. John Mahama catch say, you know something? Someone confess we can just extend it a little bit so that we all at the end of the day will benefit. Who is going to be the biggest beneficiary? The biggest beneficiary will be the Ghana government. Because at the end of the day, yeah, in conform with 100 years to Ghana there. And this thing can run for another 70, 100, 200 years. So John Mahama said this was the deal. And a BOT. So as we sit in Ghana today, the Ghana Port and Harbour and MPS, they are running the new and old Tema port. And Ghana as a country, we are making profit. They are also taking out their money that they invested until they exhaust their money. We are still going to do business with them the same way. Any idea Kotoka International Airport. There are so many deals at Mahama signing. The companies brought their own money to take care of the project. In the then a cocoa way to meet na Twitter. Now, Odana no Beka say, Uni BB, from 2014, ya town Ghana Port no the company be. What Jimmy? Politics there yo. Enye mwa ashe ene yet niya waha. Enye makeup. Enye diyan use ne ye use ye to ho. Enye politics. Enye omo madwene do. Into way ebetina Twitter. And obe posti some kwasiasewe because she feels say oya MPP ni into oba be mislead the Ghana for the same way anu kunu kromfo na nabodwe sa punch bia ofri China Sarkodie 2014 15 16 eya nkwasia politics de eya ne tribal party ni ba power no she thinks say she can do the same thing san kwasia de we na o stopping no now mama the history when John Mahama was in office 2014 15 16 eya edwuma ekọ eya den the new Tema port expansion. Now these are the records.
Starting with President Mahama has called for the commencement of the $1.5 billion Tema port expansion project. Now, the project is expected to make it the leading seaport in Africa while generating some 400,000 jobs.
The project, which is a joint partnership between the Meridian Port Services and the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, is intended to open up the facility to enhance maritime trade. The expansion comes as the first major works after over 50 years of port existence. Director General of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Richard Anamu, projected that the container traffic for the port will increase from the current 900,000 TEUs to 2.2 million TEUs. Managing Director of the Meridian Ports and Services, Mohammed Samara, was happy about the technology transfer and deployment of modern technologies to meet international standards.
We believe that after this massive upgrade and with its geographical advantage, Tema Port will indeed be positioned as the maritime hub for trade along the west coast of Africa.
President Mahama is elated that Tema Port will be more competitive to handle more trade.
The completion of this project will make Tema Port one of the most efficient ports with quickest turnaround times in the whole of Africa. The port will be able to handle vessels up to 360 meters long. The current port is able to handle vessels only up to 170 meters.
He also touched on the Tema Accra motorway expansion project.
As part of the expansion project, MPS will expand the Tema motorway into a 6-lane motorway, and it is expected that JICA will provide assistance to develop the Tema end of the motorway into an interchange.
The project, when completed in 2018, will accommodate more vessels.
So, we all saw it. It was a joint partnership. And today, Menoka say Ghana is making money out of the port. Now,